guiding light is all I know. Through wood and steel, through fire and lace, I'm blessed to walk within your grace. Is to a throig arcane. You laid the path before me. You guided every step. Raise the hammer, string the bow. Her gift is all I need to know. Through toil and trial, through heart and hand, her grace builds up this mighty land. Is the grass the dead time it's sure? We'll build the land, our hearts within. From dawn till dusk, I work, I strive. With your blessing, I'll survive. The loom, the forge, the sword, the grain in your name, I rise again. No skill too small. Your gifts, dear goddess, guide us all. Dandusiolas, Mila Truar, Ahledurai, fade our nights into force. Without your light, we have no guide, but with your hand, our place abide. String the bow. Her gift is all I need to know. Through toil and trial, through heart and hand, her grace builds up this mighty land. Is the grass the dead time it's sore? To find it until our greatest day. By the grace of the goddess we are free. We'll build the land, our hearts within. To walk within your grace, blessed by her grace, forever, forever.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Pax Dei, episode 163. I'm going to open up my microphone device software, hopefully, and hopefully this will sound halfway decent tonight. It's been interesting, the journey that I've gone through with the audio for this podcast. The other one doesn't seem to be as bad. This one, I can't figure out what is going on and what is not working. But anyway, at any rate, thanks for coming. I appreciate you joining me in my room of alchemy. A modern work of art by one of the creators of the Guild Hall, Aiden, who is now off adventuring in a dungeon. But I have to add some sconces down here, because as you go into the depths of the tower, it gets a little bit dark, especially at night. We put that will there on purpose. All right. So we're going to do some building as we are. We're going to construct something, and we're also going to talk about our next topic. So in last episode, we stepped in front of the AI mirror for the first time. We explored how algorithms quietly observe, learn from, and reflect our behaviors, shaping the media we consume, the choices we make, and even the identities we believe are ours. We drew from Aristotle's virtue of ethics, Taoist balance, and Ubuntu's communal wisdom, questioning whether our values are truly our own or the result of unseen systems nudging us along. Let me grab my materials real quick. And I gathered them the other day. Nope, I just looked at that one. Nope. Where'd I put them? I put them somewhere. Not in that one. Definitely not in that one. There. Need all of those. All of those. There we go. Need all of those, and then I need what we call lime mortar. And I don't know if we have any. I should have prepared. I'm pretty sure we have lime mortar somewhere. If I have to make some, it shouldn't take too long. Let's see. Oh, here we go. We got lime mortar is what I'm looking for. Oh boy. Here's some sand, clay. Oh, I forget what to make lime mortar. So the recipes are probably the one thing in this game that are really complex. So lime and lime mortar. Oh, lime mortar is made at the carpenter bench. That's right. So you take the lime and you make lime mortar at this workbench. And then if you okay, maybe I spelled it wrong. I could have sworn it was here. Not at the carpenter, at the log workbench. There we go. My mortar is sand and water. So I need sand and water. Sand's fairly easy. And I think the water I can get going through this tunnel. Pretty cool. And it's right over there. Parkour. And then we just take all this water. Remember to fill this back up. Every once in a while, the server doesn't catch up with your commands. It's very interesting. Not tall enough. There we go. There it is. A little parkour here action on the podcast as we're going over the AI mirror. There we go. And we have the lime mortar. Okay, so as we saw how AI can amplify our best traits or reinforce our worst, depending on how we engage with it. We talked about curated content, predictive playlists, and personalized news feeds, all crafted to reflect a version of you. In today's episode, we continue the journey through the AI mirror. This time, we're stepping into the digital workplace. From productivity trackers and performance dashboards to algorithmic hiring and invisible surveillance. We'll ask, are we still working? Or are we being worked on? We'll pull wisdom from Confucius, Cal Newport, and Shoshana Zuboff, and we'll see how the systems in MMORPGs, from rating mechanics to reinforcement loops, mirror what's happening in the real world jobs. This isn't about resisting technology. It's about reclaiming intention, values, and agency in spaces where metrics align. Welcome to Pax Dei, the Search for Steel. This is episode 163, the AI Mirror, part 2, Navigating the Digital Workspace. So, let me, now that I have that, let me see what I did. So I have lime. What am I missing? Sand, maybe? Yeah, I'm missing sand. Ugh. Let's go get some more sand. I think I have sand. Somewhere in here. Oh, there it was. I don't know what that... Oh, I tried to activate something. It's not what I wanted to do. Cancel. There we go. It was right here, and I didn't have it. I'm using the controls because I go through from this to Enshrouded. So, yeah. Okay. Let's hope that's enough. Because you need a lot of the mortar, especially when you're doing the limestone. So much water. Oh my goodness. Holy crap. So much water. This task is going to take me a minute, but we're going to turn to a modern thinker who has peered into the heart of algorithms and come back with some stark warnings. Once I have this, takes 20 water per. Thought I made it. The mechanics of jumping in this game need a little work, but they're still in dev. I think they're gonna adjust some stuff still. But yeah, there's a few. There we go. So Cathy O'Neil is a mathematician and a data scientist who wrote the influential book Weapons of Math Destruction. While our philosophical exploration looked at how algorithms shape us, O'Neil asks who is shaping the algorithms and to what end. She urges us to see that many algorithms, especially in powerful domains like finance, policing, education, and advertising, aren't the objective. Benign tools we might think they're not the benign tools we might think they are. Instead, they can behave like weapons, causing real harm while hiding behind the aura of mathematics. To illustrate this perspective, let's follow a short story. Meet Raymond, a diligent high school teacher. One year, Raymond is shocked to discover that he's been given a very low score by a new algorithmic teacher evaluation system implemented by the school district. The score seems to suggest that he's an ineffective teacher, something completely at odds with his previously good reputation. Because of this score, Raymond is put on probation. He's not told exactly how the score was calculated. It's a proprietary algorithm, taking in factors like students' test improvements, but the formula is opaque. Raymond had a class of students who faced various hardships that year, but the algorithm doesn't know that. All it sees are numbers. His appeals fall on deaf ears. The data says what it says. The administrator shrug. Feeling demoralized, Raymond eventually leaves teaching. This story mirrors a real case O'Neil discussed. And it highlights what she calls a WMD, a weapon of math destruction. WMDs, as O'Neill defines them, are algorithms that have three key traits. They are widespread, they are opaque, and they are harmful. The teacher evaluation algorithm was deployed across many schools, widespread. Its inner workings were a black box to those affected, opaque, and it had the potential to unjustly ruin careers, which is harmful. From loan approval models that deny credit to somebody without explanation, to predictive policing software that keeps sending officers to the same neighborhoods, creating a feedback loop which labels those areas as high crime because that's where the arrests happen, ignoring crimes elsewhere. WMDs reinforce existing inequalities under the guise of objective science. Let me see how many. All right, so I have 150 of this stuff. Let's see if that's going to be enough. So we are going to go to the construction site. And usually you have a vision for what your building's going to look like. And right now I am going with a riverside villa. And honestly, I put these down here. Oh, probably for the wood. I got some more granite here, some lime mortar. Good. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to kill these. And I'm going to see in my building menu if I have granite stairs that I can kind of wrap. And this is where Alt comes in. I think it's control. No, it's not control. Which one is it? Oh, left shift. All right. And I got to count where I'm putting this. Otherwise, it's not going to be even on the other side. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to wrap these around. I need it to. There we go. It shouldn't be snapping, which is weird. Let's see. Now I have to make them look like they are wrapping without let me see, maybe shift. It might not work out because stone might not be able to do this. Okay. We'll destroy this idea and I'll rethink it. I will rethink it, although I'll probably need this to get up to a plateau where I can put granite. See if this will work. Now, I'm going to have to. I did it again. There you go. It's got to be at least that high. It just let me know I extended into a plot. Let's see. That'll work. But this step might not. I haven't decided yet. And this one is actually going to do that. Nope, not like that though. I need to rotate it. Oh, I didn't need that. I need that. All right. So now I have the base of the that little house, essentially. I really wish you could dig that. That would be awesome, but I can't. All right. So let's think. Okay. Anyway, one of O'Neill's key points is encapsulated in her memorable quote: "Algorithms are opinions embedded in the code." In other words, behind every algorithm is a human or a team of humans who decide what factors to include, how to weigh them, and what outcome to optimize for. These decisions reflect subjectivity or subjective choices and often biases. If developers assume, for instance, that a good employee is one who stays at a job for at least 5 years, they might design a hiring algorithm that filters out anyone who had multiple shorter stints, which could disproportionately exclude younger workers or those in unstable industries. The algorithm would appear to be neutrally scoring candidates, but it's actually codifying the biases or blind spots of its creators. As O'Neill bluntly puts it, quote, "Models are opinions embedded in mathematics. They often carry the values and prejudices of their makers." Another insight from O'Neill: big data isn't inherently fair or futuristic. It often codifies the past. She notes, quote, big data processes codify the past. They do not invent the future. Doing that requires moral imagination, and that's something only humans can provide. So what does this mean? If an algorithm is trained on historical data, say the past hiring decisions at a company, it will learn the patterns of the past. If a company has historically hired very few women into management, a hiring algorithm might learn that management tends to be men and then inadvertently screens out women applicants as not fitting the pattern. Without an injection of ethical oversight, the moral imagination O'Neill mentions, the algorithm will just perpetuate the past discrimination in an automated way. Thus, far from being forward-looking, many AI systems are like mirrors of our own history, including all its inequities. The AI mirror, in this sense, might show a distorted reflection that emphasizes and automates the worst habits unless we concisely correct them or consciously correct them. So O'Neill's book provides numerous examples of harm. College admissions algorithms that give poor students less chance by favoring those who can pay application fees or who have a certain extracurriculars. Insurance algorithms that charge higher premiums to those in certain zip codes. Effectively a proxy for race or income, because historically those areas had more claims. Or even if political social media algorithms that micro-target voters with propaganda tailored to their profile. In each case, the pattern is similar. The algorithm operates in a way that is hidden from those it affects. It's often unaccountable. Who do you complain to if the algorithm is unfair? And it ends up reinforcing power imbalances. The poor get penalized for their poverty. We criminalize poverty, believing all the while that our tools are scientific and fair. As O'Neill writes in The Rich Get Richer, and etc. One might ask, why do people trust these algorithms so much if they have issues? Well, O'Neill observes a kind of blind faith in algorithms, an assumption that if a computer calculated it, it must be true and unbiased. People tend to treat algorithms like neutral referees or even oracles. Quote, the algorithms are like the shiny new toys we can't resist using. We trust them so much that we project meaning into them, or onto them, excuse me. That's an exact quote she said. There's a psychological tendency to be intimidated by math, to fear it, but also to revere it. As one journalist quipped about O'Neill's work, people fear and trust of math is akin to worship. This reverence can be dangerous because it stops us from questioning. Quote, once they hear that an algorithm is accurate, they stop asking questions, O'Neill warns. We see a score on a ranking or tend to assume it's fair, forgetting that accuracy is not the same as fairness. An algorithm could be very accurate in predicting something, say accurately predicting who is likely to default on a loan, and yet be unfair because maybe it uses zip code, which correlates with race, thus systematically denying loans to minorities, even if some would have them repaid if given the chance. This points to a subtle but vital notion. Algorithms can discriminate even without any malice, simply by reflecting social biases or societal biases. And when they do, they often widen inequity because they apply biases at a scale under a veneer of objectivity. O'Neill notes, quote, ultimately, algorithms reinforce discrimination and widen inequity, using people's fear and trust of mathematics to prevent them from asking questions. That, quote, fear and trust is key. It's as if the algorithm systems say, quote, don't challenge me. I'm just data. And many people back off. So let me gather some wood here. I knew I'd have to do this, but I need some fine wood beams. Oh, I need to get the wood, which I securely put here. There we go. I need some beams in my planks, and the beams, I'll put it like 20 in there. I think I got enough heartwood for that. And then I'll put 20 fine. And then I can do a couple wood beams. All right, let's see what that gives us. I don't know if I have any in here. If I need to, yeah, I have some. That's all right. And if I need some more, I can go get some more. Okay. So what I'll probably end up doing is we definitely want that. We want the front window. Pretty cool. And then we'll probably actually do a side window. Let me see if there's a door frame, double door frame. Absolutely. I think I'm off just by a little bit. There we go. There we go. So we have the double door frame. And I have a little room over here. Do I add? Of course, I need lime mortar. I'm thinking about adding. Can I add over here? No, I can't add over here, so. All right. I need lime mortar. So I need more sand. I need. All right. So what does O'Neill suggest we do about this? Her work has sparked a movement toward algorithmic accountability. She advocates for bringing those black box systems into the light, auditing them for bias, demanding transparency about how they work, and implementing checks and balances. For example, if a college uses an admissions algorithm, it should regularly test how that algorithm treats applications from different demographic groups and adjust it if it's excluding qualified students unjustly. If a city uses a predictive policing model, it should be open to the public scrutiny and paired with policies to avoid self-fulfilling prophecies, like biasing policing solely based on past arrest data in certain neighborhoods. O'Neill herself went on to found an algorithmic auditing company, essentially an algorithm ombudsman service. The idea is just as the idea is just as a financial accounting became a standard to catch errors and fraud in companies, algorithmic auditing could become a standard to catch bias and unintended harms in AI systems. This is a concrete way to ensure that the AI mirror doesn't become a funhouse mirror with dangerous consequences. All right. Let me see. I need sand. I wonder if I have water. Do I have water? I have limestone. Water. I didn't think so. I didn't store any water in the last world. So what I'll do is I'll actually, oh, you know what? Before I do this, we got to put everything in here that I don't need. I need those, don't need those. And this way I can do a little bit more. All right, let's do, and there we go. Got plenty. And then we'll go make the lime. We'll take a break here because we're gonna connect this back to our everyday experience next. But for now, you're going to see the. Now imagine this building being built. The amount of lime mortar that was needed. He went through a ton of lime mortar. All right. Now I need water. And I'm wondering if we have any lime. No, we don't. Okay. I'm probably going to have to make some lime as well as I'm cooking. I think I gotta get this jumping mechanism better. All right. Let's see. If I'm back on my plot, I can get some lime that we can cook. And I think what I need is sap. I'm so used to jumping in the other game that this game is, and sprinting in the other game was a lot easier. Enshrouded. You're very much human in this game. All right. Looks like it's about 10 minutes worth of time. Let's see how many I can fill up. That's it. All right. We'll have that cooking. I don't think we have any. No. Okay. Put that there. Put that here. That would be no good. I get a lot of water. Let's see if I have any open ones. Yeah, I do. Cool. That should do it. All right. While we're waiting for that, I could probably do a couple. Everything is going to be limestone at this point. So the vision is, I don't know if I want these stairs like that. Yeah, it's a villa. Maybe I'll put a wood deck out. Ooh. Let me grab the wood. Definitely that one. And I think I need these as well. All right, let's see what I can do. There's the really nice ones. That's clay and limestone. And this is small cottage. That's tile. More tile. They got a couple different different styles now. And I'm just trying to figure it out while we're on a podcast. But you're going to gain a little bit of knowledge in the let's see if this will work. And that'll be more like a how do we call it? A deck, if you will. Let's see what this looks like. No, this is a beam of some sort. I was hoping it was more like this. There we go. And I need a fine wood beam. Okay. Of course, I don't have any. So we make them. That's all I can make. And I'm going to try to make a nice looking fence here, but I really wanted the more intricate ones. I like those, but they're more sport. They're not the ones that look like this. So basically you match it up and then you bring it out. And here, oh, I need more heartwood. I hate when it doesn't actually. There we go. There we go. Now I can make my heart's content. All right. I'm going to craft 5 of these and then 5 of the. You know what, though? I can always. I'll just craft all of them. Okay, let's connect this back to our everyday experience. So, say you apply for a job and never even get a human reply. Your resume was likely scanned by an AI that looked for certain keywords. if you keep getting ghosted, it's worth considering. Is the system filtering me out for a reason unrelated to my ability? Like maybe my college isn't a famous one, or is there a gap in my resume? Knowing what O'Neill has found, you might take proactive steps, tweak your resume to play to the algorithm, a bit of a cat and mouse game, or seek companies that pledge, quote, humans review all applications. On a larger level, one could support legislation that requires companies to disclose when an algorithm is making a decision about you and give you a way to appeal to a human, an idea that aligns with emerging AI ethics guidelines. So, Kathy O'Neill's message in short: don't be blinded by the mystique of AI or big data. The AI mirror, when held up to society, may reflect and even magnify injustices unless we actively intervene. The first step is awareness, recognizing that behind every seemingly neural number, our neutral number or ranking, is a set of human choices. The second step is demanding fairness and transparency, essentially demanding a clearer mirror, not one that's a one-way glass hiding its operators. By doing so, we can turn some of these weapons of math destruction into tools for improvement. For instance, an algorithm that once was used to cut costs at the expense of vulnerable people could be redesigned with new parameters to help identify who needs more resources to succeed, thereby becoming a tool for equity rather than inequality. As we navigate our algorithm-driven world, Kathy O'Neill equips us with a critical eye. The next time an app or a platform says, "This is your score," or "This is the news you need to see," we do well to channel a bit of O'Neill's skepticism and ask, who programmed this? What assumptions went into it? Is it truly serving me, or am I just yielding to its authority without question? Breaking that spell of blind trust is crucial for retaining our autonomy and ensuring these digital tools serve us, not the other way around. Our journey now takes us to the mind of Yuval Noah Harari, a historian and philosopher who spent much of his time pondering the fate of humanity in the age of AI. We'll take a moment because I need a drink. Oof, my tongue is just not where it should be. I tell you to soda, but it's a non-sponsored spot. All right, so while my tongue is beginning to learn, we are starting to make this a little bit better. Oh, there it is. Perfect. Now I bring it down. That's going to be a wall. So really I need it to be here. Yeah. And what I'm going to do is take a nice ornamental beam. Can I do this? Let's see what that looks like. There we go. And I take that, and it was not on. It's up just a little bit. So if I take it from here, oh, you know what I could do? All right, so this is going to be a little hack for you. So if you take out the obstacle, I'm going to get the wood while I'm here. Why not, right? There we go. Then go back into here. And I need to do the same thing, except I need to move it down. I think it's right about there. See, it's still hitting the tree for now, and then we build inside the tree. And it's centered around something for some reason. So we'll take that, and this is how you kind of defeat it. There you go. Now you got your porch. And the tree will eventually go back there, but it won't destroy the structure. And you'll have a nice little tree seating area. I know, it's weird, but these are the things you have to do in order to combat the building structure so far. What I really want is this thing to be up top. There we go. And it kind of gives you that cool on it kind of look, right? And now you're going to have the scenic overview there. Once I get my mortar made. All right. So if O'Neill sounded the alarm about societal inequities through algorithms, Harari sounds a different kind of alarm. That our very idea of what a human is and what free will means is under threat from advanced AI and data collection. Harari's provocative claim is that humans are becoming, quote, hackable animals. By this, he means that with enough data about a person and enough computing power, an external system, be it a government, a corporation, or an AI, could understand that a person better than they understand themselves. They can predict their choices, and even manipulate their desires. So let's ground this in a scenario. Think of Aisha, who is a wearable health, who uses a wearable health tracker, shops exclusively online, and socializes on a couple of big social platforms. Over the years, Aisha's devices and apps have accumulated a massive profile on her. Her heart rate patterns, sleep rhythms, spending history, reading habits, friend networks, political leanings, and even subtle sentiment patterns in her messages, which AI can analyze. One day, Aisha is deciding to whom to vote for in an upcoming election. Unbeknownst to her, a political consultancy has aggregated data from people very similar to Aisha, people of her age, location, social media behavior, and found that certain types of message greatly influences them. She starts seeing online ads and news stories tailored uncannily to her anxieties and hopes, pushing her toward candidate X. Meanwhile, her friend sees a completely different feed pushing for candidate Y. Because the system has profiled him differently, Aisha feels like she's freely choosing whom to support, but in reality, she's been micro-targeted and nudged by an AI that predicted exactly which arguments would resonate with her. In a sense, the algorithm hacked Aisha's decision-making process. Harari warns that this isn't science fiction. It's already underway. Quote, they ended up knowing more about the voters than the voters know about themselves, unquote.
O'Neill said of modern political campaigns. And Harari takes it further. If you know someone's DNA, medical history, and daily habits, and you have powerful AI, you can know their personality type, vulnerabilities, and triggers better than they do. In his famous talk at Davos, Harari presented a formula: B times C times D equals AHH, which stands for biological knowledge times computing power times data equals the ability to hack humans. AAH or AHH. All the pieces are coming together. Biology is neuroscience and psychology, gives us insight into how we make choices. Computing crunches the information, and the massive data we consistently generate provides the raw material. The result is that the first time in history, we have entities like big tech companies or governments with advanced AI that could potentially know each of us better than we know ourselves. So what does that mean to know someone better than they know themselves? Well, Harari means algorithms might predict your actions or preferences with high accuracy. For example, an AI might determine from your online behavior that you're gay before you yourself have come to terms with it. In fact, studies have shown that by analyzing just your Facebook likes, algorithms can predict aspects of your personality or orientation eerily well. Harari imagines a scenario. Quote, when AI is everywhere, maybe even in biometric sensors on your body, and it has all this intimate information, it can predict and manipulate your emotions. Perhaps you go to an AI therapy bot when you're depressed. It comforts you, but also steers your feelings or opinions in subtle ways, maybe toward consumer choices that benefit its creators. If AI or corporation/government behind it decide to, it could make decisions for you, claiming it's in your own best interest. And maybe an AI health service just automatically schedules medical appointments for you or changes your diet by controlling what ads you see for food. Convenient, yes, but reducing your agency. Harari even provocatively says that in the age of the idea of free will might be over. Not because humans lose their capacity to choose entirely, but because the narrative of each person being inscrutable source of decisions. I choose this because I want to, no longer holds when external algorithms can pin down exactly why you choose it and could have nudged you otherwise. In his Guardian essay titled The Myth of Freedom, he argues that liberal democracy, which is built on the respect for an individual's free choices, the voter knows best, the customer is always right, is unprepared for a world where those choices can be engineered by outside forces. Quote, the same technologies that we have invented to help individuals pursue their dreams also make it possible to re-engineer those dreams, unquote. That line is chilling. Your very dreams and desires, which you think are yours, might be shaped by algorithms feeding you certain content. If you think about it, recommendation engines do the shape taste. You watch one video on YouTube, and the algorithm suggests might lead you down a rabbit hole of new interests or conspiracies that you didn't actively seek out, but now they've become part of what you want more of. All right, let's see. Yeah, Harari's a really good resource. And again, this is not alarmism. We're not trying to do alarmism. What we're trying to do is educate you on the possibility of what's occurring, and then we can. Then I'm going to go into teaching you how to subvert it. to gain your own agency back. All right. That building was not there when I constructed this. You took all the good view. That's all right. It's still going to be a nice riverside villa. Let's see. Where am I going? Oh, let's go check out the cookers. It's been about 10 minutes, wouldn't you say? I'm going to sprint there. Should be able to. Nice. I should have brought my water along with me. Water and sand. Honestly, I didn't. They're cooking faster than I had anticipated. That's all right. Running takes so much stamina. See, the tree reconstituted, and my building's still standing. So they really got to change that, honestly. What do I need? I need water and sand. Where did I put on my sand? That's all right. Did it to myself. Sand. There we go. And then I'll go get some water on the way back. And I need to go to the carpenter's bench. Or the log bench. Let's see. I might as well get some more water, but at least 2 more. I'll get 2 more. And if you haven't seen our kitchen, it's pretty awesome. It's weird. I could go through doors still. You're supposed to open them up first, you know, role playing and all. Parkour. All right, here we go. There we go. All right. Now, Harari's hackable human concept also extends to surveillance and dictatorships. He posits that future authoritarian regimes could use AI to monitor people at an unprecedented, intimate level. He gives the extreme example. Imagine North Korea in 20 years wearing biometric bracelets that send their pulse and brain activity to the state AI systems. If a citizen listens to a speech of the great leader and secretly feels anger or boredom, the government would know. And that person could be punished immediately. Under such a regime, even your inner world is no longer private or free. That's the dystopian endgame of hacking humans. Totalitarian, I swear to gosh. Totalitarian control, not just over actions, but over feelings. As Harari Riley notes, the tyrants of the past wanted to do this, but couldn't. They didn't have the tech. Stalin could monitor outward behavior to an extent, but not your inner emotions. Future AI-powered regimes might cross that final frontier. Now, we're not in that extreme world yet, but Harari's point is to warn us now, while we still can choose a different path. One of his suggestions is almost paradoxical. Since humans are hackable, we should strive to know ourselves better, and perhaps even use technology to aid in that self-knowledge before someone else uses it to control us. That's the purpose of this channel, by the way. In the Myth of Freedom essay, he suggests that we might use AI as a kind of antivirus for the brain, an AI assistant that alerts us when we're being manipulated. For instance, imagine if your digital assistant could whisper to you, hey, the reason you keep seeing these articles is because the algorithm noticed you were anxious about the crime. It's trying to push you to vote for Law and Order candidate X. Take a breath and remember the crime rate is actually lower than it used to be. And what would AI use? That would be AI used to counter AI manipulation, serving your true interest as you define them, not as others define them. All right, so that didn't give me much. Wow, didn't give me much at all. Okay, well, I'll carry it alone. I'm going to have to cook a lot more. All right, throw this up. So I need that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. I don't know why I have that. I don't even know how I got that. Okay. Okay, this goes, and I think these could go there. Okay. So let's see, what can I do? All right. So here is going to be a little, I still like the windows. So we're going to do the windows. And I think we'll do the windows on all sides. All right, the tree's going to be in the way a little bit, but that's okay. That's all right. And then we're going to, I don't need lime mortar. My goodness. Oh my goodness. All right, let's see. So Harari also draws from ancient wisdom in a way that aligns with our earlier philosophical explorations. He notes that sages from Socrates to Buddha have long advised, know thyself. The difference now is, as he says, quote, in the days of Socrates or Buddha, you didn't have real competition. If you neglected self-knowledge, you were still a mystery to others. Now, if you neglect knowing yourself, you have competition. Governments and corporations are striving to hack you. If they succeed, they can sell you anything, product or a politician. This puts a new urgency on the old imperative. It's almost as if he's saying personal introspection and psychology have become tools of resistance. If you deeply understand your own weaknesses, say you know you're prone to scrolling when lonely or buying stuff when anxious, you can catch yourself and not be as easily swayed by AI, an AI prompt, or the AI prompt exploring that weakness. I am just not on my game tonight. I'm sorry. I'm reading my notes as I'm playing a game, and so far so good. Can I build this? No, I need more lime mortar. Wow. Lime mortar is just what's needed. I like this little area. I'll probably put a little table with 2 chairs in here. It'll be pretty cool. Can I do stairs? Lime mortar. I know I can do wooden stairs, but I don't think wooden stairs would go in this room. I think what we want is maybe the inside walls are going to be different, but I definitely want this area to be, I don't know, maybe a table of some sort, maybe a back patio. Let me see what I got. Still need lime mortar. Man, I need lime mortar for everything. I was just not prepared to build tonight. All right. We will think of something here. And I'm wondering how high the ceilings are going to be. Do I make this 2-story? Maybe I make this going up to the 2nd-story balcony. Yeah, I think that's the ticket. Okay. All right. So he also offers an interesting perspective on letting go the notion of free will. He doesn't mean we actually have no ability to choose. He means recognizing that our choices are often driven by processes we aren't conscious of, like biochemical urges or influences, which could make us humble and curious rather than complacent. If if I stop assuming every desire I have is my sovereign will, I might start questioning, where did this desire come from? Which is a good habit in the age of algorithmic nudges. For example, if I suddenly feel an urge to order fast food, is it because I'm truly craving it? Or did I just see an ad that cleverly tapped into my childhood comfort association? By questioning my impulses, I gain some freedom back. The freedom to say, maybe I don't actually want this, maybe it was planted in my mind. Harari also argues that renouncing the simplistic idea of free will in the sense of completely uncaused choices can actually increase our ability to make conscious choices because we become more aware of the influences on us. So, bringing it back to the AI mirror metaphor, Harari is essentially saying that the mirror the mirror may know you so well that it can show you whatever will make you move in the direction it or its owners want. It's like a magical mirror that doesn't just passively reflect, but actively shapes reflection to prompt the reaction. To maintain autonomy, we need to develop a kind of mental and digital self defense. Part of that is regulation and collective action, pushing for privacy laws, for transparency in how data is used, etc. So no entity has unchecked power to hack us. Harari would often speak about the need for global cooperation on these issues because he notes, if we allow digital dictatorships to emerge even in one part of the world, their influence could spread. The other part of this defense is personal practice, training ourselves in mindfulness and skepticism. For every piece of sensational content that triggers you, get in the habit of pausing and saying, I feel angry, fearful, happy. But did I choose to feel this, or was I hacked into by some clever post? That moment of reflection is powerful. In summary, Harari's insight is so sobering. The more we rely on AI, the more data we feed it, the more we expose our inner workings. The question becomes, who uses that knowledge and for what? If it's used ethically, say health AI, noticing that you're at risk for depression or gently alerting you that and suggesting help, it could be a boon, respecting your autonomy while aiding you. If it's used nefariously, like regime using it to preemptively arrest people who, quote, might dissent based on their emotional data, it's a nightmare. Even in everyday commerce, if used selfishly, it can turn us into puppets of consumerism. Imagine an AI that knows exactly when to flash a sale at you for maximum chance of purchase. Harari's clarion call to us as individuals is to remain vigilant and not surrender our awareness. Our freedom in the future may hinge less on some absolute metaphysical free will and more on our ability to detect when we're being influenced and to assert control when it matters. In the AI mirror, we must strive to see our true selves and not a manipulated puppet. That means sometimes stepping away from the mirror, sometimes cleaning it with regulatory Windex, perhaps, and sometimes just reminding ourselves that the mirror's image is not the whole story of who we are. All right, let's see. Let's go check to see. That's not what I was looking for. Let's see. I need sand. No, I need lime and something else. Lime and sapwood, I think. That's where I put water. There's lime. I'll put that there. Sand. No, I don't need sand. I need lime. There we go. And sapwood. I think I have sapwood here. Oh, I did it again. I missed that. I'm glad I'm not doing anything on the combat roll because I'm just screwing up royally left and right. All right, what else do I need? What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to kind of move it around in all of the available. Did I see coal in this one? Nope. There we go. There we go. And what I probably will end up doing, because this is not going to give me a lot. There we go. I'm going to try to fill up as much as these as possible. And I'll probably have enough to build tomorrow. Or probably finish up this episode because there's a lot going on. I need water and sand, which I know I have over here. There's sand. And there's water, which I need a ton of water. We've got to love the physics of the fires. It's like, oh my God, it's a blaze. The whole forest is on fire. All right. So nowhere is this push and pull between human agency and algorithmic control as tangible and sometimes as visceral as in the world of video games. Games are supposed to be play, an arena for fun and freedom. Yet modern games are also driven by sophisticated algorithms designed to maximize engagement. In this realm, we can clearly observe algorithms shaping behavior through reinforcement, both positive, which is rewards and wins, and negative, losses and frustration. And we can explore what it means for player autonomy. Let's step into the shoes of gamer Leo, playing a popular competitive online game. Leo notices a pattern. Some nights he'll win match after match, feeling invincible. But just when he's riding high, suddenly he's matched against an impossibly tough team and gets crushed. Then a couple more losses. He's about to rage quit for the night, when the next batch pairs him with a more cooperative teammates and weaker opponents. He wins again, barely. And at that rush of victory, it pulls him right back in. If this feels engineered, that's because it likely is. Many online games use what's known as engagement optimized matchmaking. an AI-driven system that doesn't just consider skill when matching players, as traditional skill-based matchmaking does, but it also factors in your recent experiences and predicted emotional state. The goal isn't purely fair competition, it's to keep you playing as long as possible. Also, so anyway, as one tech columnist summarized, EOMM is matchmaking with an agenda. Instead of simply pairing Leo with the players of equal skill for a fair fight, the system might intentionally give him easier matches after a string of losses to prevent him from quitting out of frustration. Conversely, if he's been winning too much, which can actually also make players bored or cocky, it might throw in a challenging match to keep the experience tense and exciting. The algorithm analyzes tons of data. Leo's playstyle, does he play aggressively or defensively? His propensity to quit a match early, or even whether he's likely to spend money on the game for upgrades or cosmetics. Yes, monetization can be part of the equation. Quote, some theories suggest EOMM might even push you towards spending by matching you against players with better cosmetics or gear, essentially showing you the look what they have, wouldn't you want it too? From Leo's perspective, the emotional roller coaster he experiences, the thrill, the anger, the relief, isn't entirely organic. It's orchestrated, or at least fine-tuned by the game's AI puppeteer. In an AI mirror metaphor, the game is reflecting Leo's own patterns of persistence and quitting threshold back onto him. It's as if the game knows, quote, Leo tends to quit after 3 bad losses, so it'll give him 1 win on the 3rd try. He feels that win, it was his triumph, and of course, he did play that match. But the context was curated by to produce that feeling. This raises an ethical question, though. At what point does smart game design become player manipulation? On one hand, avoiding brutal losing streaks can indeed make a game more fun and keep the community healthier. No one likes getting stomped constantly. On the other hand, if you're essentially being strung along, your sense of achievement might be partly an illusion. You are improving, or the game was rigged to boost your confidence. Are you improving, or was the game rigged, right? This is the positive reinforcement aspect. The game gives you wins or treats at calculated intervals. A classic operant conditioning technique, much like a slot machine that pays out just often enough to keep you pulling the lever. The negative reinforcement side might include things like applying pressure, say introducing a particularly frustrating challenge that you can overcome only if you buy that $5 power-up. Some games indeed have been accused of tweaking difficulty or matchmaking to encourage microtransactions. For instance, a patent by a major publisher described in a system where new players might be matched against someone with premium gear, so the new player sees the cool gear in action and perhaps feels outgunned and is enticed to spend money on it. The company claimed it wasn't implemented, but the fact that it was conceived reveals the mindset. So what does this mean for player agency? In a fair game, your agency or your choices and skills determine the outcome. In a heavily optimized game, the house or the algorithm might be tilting things behind the scene. Leo's decision to play one more match isn't entirely free. It's influenced by how the game's recent matches have made him feel. It doesn't mean players aren't complete or are complete puppets. Skill and choice still matter, but it does mean there's a subtle, invisible hand guiding the experience. All right. Let me see what I got. I don't got that much mortar. I wish we did. He used a lot, which is good. That's not what I'm saying.
lime, sand, sand. There we go. So I got effectively 103. That's not going to give me a lot of building done. But let's go build something before we go a different type of game world like Pax Dei. All right, so I need lime, definitely. I need no sand, no water. But I do need these because what I'm going to do, and I thought of it as I was doing that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a really cool open side because there's no real open limestone stuff. So if you can craft it, what I'm going to try to do and I don't know how it'll look. So I'm kind of, it doesn't look bad. So you kind of walk out into this. Yeah, let's keep it open for now. I can always close it up. And I think open for now is the right answer. And then I need one of these. There we go. Let's head down and see how that looks. That looks nice. Oh, look at that. And it just happens to be almost centered with that. Oh, almost. Means I think I can do these without mortar. Ooh, wait. Let's see what these look like. Nah, I do need mortar. Yeah. Yeah, too big. I thought they were smaller. Nope. I don't know what that is because it won't come up top. All right. That's not what I'm looking for. If I do that though, it's gonna cut the corner. It's gonna look weird. Let's see. I was hoping to use one of these. No, it's not gonna look good. No. Let's go back up here. Ah, I did that. I saw it move and I was like, damn it. Really? It's not exact at the end. Seriously? Let's see where I'm going to go here. Interesting. Why is it down? Let's see what this looks like. Let's see what this tends to look like. Sometimes doing these things, you find build techniques and you're like, yeah, it's not gonna let me snap to it. Nope, can't do it. I'll figure this out. Maybe if I put a stanchion like this, maybe then.
I want it to go off of this. There we go. And then done. Nice. So now you have a tier and a tier. I think I just used like half my mortar. Yeah, I did. All right. So what does this mean for player agency, right? We already talked about that, but now let's enter a different kind of game, Pax Dei. A forthcoming, it's still in its early access. It's a social sandbox, MMORPG, or massively multiplayer online role-playing game, if you don't know the acronym. Pax Dei's design philosophy is, as advertised, is a vast open world playground. You choose the role you want to play. It emphasizes a player-driven economy and narrative, where, quote, everything in this world is produced by the player's hands and skills, unquote. And, quote, all player styles connect and complement each other, unquote. In short, it promises a world where the player agency is paramount. The antithesis of an on-rails experience guided by algorithms. In Pax Dei, if you want to be a wandering bard trading songs for supper, you can. If you want to be a warlord conquering territory, you can. There's no AI director handing you a quest and saying, go here, do that, in a linear fashion. The content emerges from the player's interaction and choices. This kind of sandbox is a fascinating counterpoint to the tightly orchestrated engagement loops of other games. It gives us a glimpse of what gaming can be like when algorithms take a back seat. That's not to say Pax Dei has no algorithms. It surely does for things like spawn rates of resources or server load balancing to ensure roughly 150 players per zone for stability, as the tech notes are saying. But the core gameplay isn't about an AI matching or rewarding you. It's about humans creating their own fun. If Leo were in Pax Dei and he had a string of defeats, say his clan lost a few skirmishes to a rival, the game isn't going to secretly give him an easy win next time. He and his clan will have to strategize and maybe recruit allies or choose a different approach. Maybe negotiate peace or avoid combat and focus on crafting. The outcomes are earned and organic. For some players, that's incredibly rewarding. The victory is truly yours, not handed to you. For others, it can feel daunting or even boring if they are used to constant dopamine hits from algorithmic pacing. This highlights a trade-off in game design: autonomy versus handholding. A fully player-driven game like Pax Dei offers maximal autonomy. But if you log in on a quiet day with few others around, nothing happens. There's no AI carnival barker to entertain you. It requires player initiative. You must decide what to do. And in contrast, in a game guided by AI, even if there's no other players online, the game throws challenges or bots at you to keep you occupied. Importantly, Pax Dei's approach could foster a sense of collective agency aligned with Ubuntu philosophy. Since everyone matters, each role, be it humble farmer or heroic knight, contributes to the community's story. Players are independent in a human way, not just as data points for an algorithm. They must cooperate, trade, and negotiate player to player. The reinforcement they get is largely social, recognition from peers, a thriving village they built together, rather than a flashing achievement unlocked from the system. This can be deeply satisfying in a different way. It's more like real life, where satisfaction comes from meaningful work or relationships, not just from points from a points tally. So bringing it back to algorithmic influence, consider how differently players might behave under these two models. In a controlled engagement model, players often exhibit addictive behaviors. The Skinner box effect. They might log into a daily to get a daily reward because the game incentivizes it, even if they're not in the mood to play. They might also develop toxic behaviors due to frustration when they sense manipulation or unfairness. The matchmaking is rigged, so I'll cheat or smurf to get an edge. In a sandbox, players might log in because they genuinely want to achieve a self-set goal or see friends, and toxic behavior is policed more by social repercussion. Be a jerk and no one will trade with you, or you'll get a reputation. What's interesting is that some game developers are explicitly talking about this now. Amid Haram, in his LinkedIn article, questioned if AI-driven engagement systems are killing fair play. He basically asked players, do you want fair fights or engagement-driven fights? Should players be given a choice in matchmaking preferences? The transparency and the choice would be akin to the algorithm saying, hey, we can give you a challenging match, or if you're just chilling, we can give you something easier but less balanced. Your call. So far, games don't offer that explicitly, but maybe they will. As players become more aware, through discussions in communities, leaks of patents, etc., that their experience are being finely choreographed, there's a bit of a pushback. We saw it in loot box controversies, which were essentially algorithmic rewards akin to gambling. Some countries even regulated those. We see it in how some players prefer, quote, hardcore modes or unranked modes where they suspect things are more straightforward. In a sense, the gaming community is grappling with the AI mirror too. Some days it loves the convenience and thrill of the mirror offers, like a game that's always exciting, tuned just for you. Other days it resents being manipulated and yearns for more authentic player-driven experience. I just realized my game sounds were not up, so now they are. You didn't hear the birds and the wildlife and the subtle music. Anyway, let me grab a drink here, and we'll conclude this. I think episode. We'll probably extend this to another episode. Yeah, we'll conclude this episode after a little bit. All right, let me grab something to drink. And we'll get some excitement in the game. I have no arrows. Never mind. All right. I'm really waiting for that lime. I need sand and water, though. Sand and water. Got it. And then I can put this in here. There we go. This is coming together. I didn't realize it would come together this quickly, but it is coming together. I don't need those. I need sand and water. More water. I always need more water. Yeah, Pax Dei is an interesting game. It's some called it, and I say this most episodes, the medieval chores simulator. Because you really have to work for your stuff. It's not an easy game to master. I might just put some stairs back here. He did such a great job on the building, though. Let's see if I take damage. I did not. I was surprised at that. I have sand. I need, I got water, I got sand. I just need lime and... Let's go see how our fires are burning. My skills in this game are pretty good as far as the amount of time I've been playing, and could I do this alone? The fighting alone would be you have to socialize in this game. There's no doubt in my mind. None in my mind at all. Man, I got so many cookers going just for lime. And I'll probably only get like 9 again. Alright, I'll get 10. I'll get 100. That's not much. What will I run out first? Okay, let's illustrate this agency in gaming with one more mini story. Avery loves a sandbox MMO, similar to Pax Dei. One night, they decide to rally their guild and build a new outpost on a frontier of the game world. There's no quest telling them to do this. It's their own idea to claim the territory and create a trading hub. It takes weeks of real time, gathering materials, coordinating schedules. There are setbacks. A rival guild attacks, or resources run scarce, but finally they succeed. The outpost stands. Players from across the server visit to trade, and it even gets a mention in the game's community newsletter on a burgeoning player-created city. Avery feels pride. Not the kind that comes from a trophy the game handed out, but from the genuine accomplishment that emerged from the strategy, teamwork, and persistence. This kind of experience, while facilitated by the game's environment, wasn't delivered by the algorithm. It was enabled by leaving space for player creativity. It's akin to the difference between solving a puzzle that one has the answer to versus painting on a blank canvas. Both are game-like in a sense, but one has a predetermined win state and the other is open-ended. What we learn from gaming is that people can be deeply engaged through either external reinforcement or through intrinsic motivation. But the flavor of that engagement differs. The external algorithm-driven approach can be highly effective at hooking us. Hence the billion-dollar gaming and gaming-adjacent industries like casino apps. Yet it may leave a hollow aftertaste. We realized the high score or rank that we got was largely a function of grinding the treadmill laid out by the devs. The intrinsic player-driven approach might be built slower, but often results in more meaningful and memorable experiences. War stories you'll talk about years later. Remember the siege of our outpost? It has a totally different taste, right? All right, let's see. Caitlin's doing her thing. She's decided to be more of a craftsperson. She does go on quests every once in a while. But for the most part, she has her fun and she has her cake and she eats it too. And I think that's great. Looks like I have some room for some more. I just need more water. Do I have water in here? I thought I put water in here. Maybe. Maybe not. That was hoping, but I don't. Now I gotta go run back. This is one part of the game that you really want to design your compound or your clan area with convenience in mind. And we're getting it shaped up. Because crafting in this, if you want to be a blacksmith or you want to be any profession, insert profession, like I said, the algorithm doesn't exist in this game. The only thing that does exist in this game is the amount of work that you're going to put in. Oh, let me see where this goes. This goes to the kitchen, which means I can go over and out because I never close the doors. I technically can parkour here. There we go. All right. So what we learn from this gaming, is that people can be deeply engaged either through external reinforcement or through intrinsic motivation. But the flavor of that engagement differs. The external, algorithmic-driven approach can be highly effective at hooking us. Hence the billion-dollar gaming in adjacent. I just went over this. I'm sorry. I lost my notes. Anyway, for our awareness of AI's impact, gaming is a microcosm. It shows us how subtle tweaks in feedback and reward can channel human behavior predictably. It also shows, given freedom, humans will surprise you with creativity, which algorithms then struggle to predict. In navigating the AI mirror in games, players like Leo and Avery teach themselves when to trust the game and when to assert their own direction. Some days, Leo just wants casual fun and doesn't mind the game playing Puppet Master, and that's fine. Other days, he might choose the game or a mode that allows more freedom because he wants a sense of earned accomplishment. The key is having the choice and understanding of what's going on. As AI continues to shape not just games, but all interactive media, think personalized interactive stories, VR experiences that adapt to your reactions, etc. The lessons from games will apply broadly. We will need to ask, do we want personalized entertainment that perfectly caters to our tastes, even if it means we're being managed? Or do we want more open-ended, participatory forms of entertainment where we co-create the experience, accepting it might be less optimized, but more empowering? There's no single right answer. The different contexts might call for different approaches, but being conscious of the dynamics ensures that we are not unwittingly getting conditioned without our consent. In conclusion, the world of gaming visibly demonstrates the power of algorithms to shape behavior through strategic reinforcement, and it offers a vision of how emphasizing human agency, like in Pax Dei design, can provide a refreshing alternative. By examining our experiences in these virtual worlds, we can glean wisdom on maintaining our autonomy, treasure the games, and by extension, digital experiences that make you feel free and creative. Be wary of those that leave you feel like you're running on someone else's hamster wheel. In the contest of player versus algorithm, the best outcome is the game where the player, not the algorithm, ultimately calls the shots on their fun. With that, I will I'll call it a episode, and we'll get into 164, and we'll start out with strategies for staying in control in the age of algorithms. So we'll actually get into some strategies to help you gain yourself back, know yourself. This is what the channel is about. The channel is about using ancient philosophies to better understand ourselves, the world around us, and ultimately be a better version of ourselves. We have the power. We are the ones in control of our reality. All right, let's see. Well, with that, I think I'll end it here. This one episode went a little longer, but it's so important to know algorithms and how they're manipulating you. the tools I'm giving you tomorrow night, please let's join me, because it's going to be amazing to finish up this. And hopefully the audio came through very nice, very clean. I'm hoping I didn't drop any frame rates today, so that's good. Hopefully the audio came through perfectly. Remember to check out my other content on my channel as well. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell if you really like my content. I have a channel where I play Enshrouded, and that's just a gaming channel. That I don't do any deep philosophical opinings. So in that channel, but we just have fun. It's Enshrouded. It's another open source. I shouldn't say open source. Open world, but it's not an MMORPG. It's mostly, it could be a multiplayer game, but it's not a massive multiplayer game. But I'm playing single on that one. So check out that channel. I also have a short story called The Reluctant Architect. It's about a time traveling depressed person, essentially. I'm selling it with that, I suppose. But I put it together. I voice everything. 11 labs I use to change my voice. So I'm having a lot of fun with it. I think I've done 2. I did the pilot, and then chapter 2 is what I'm calling it. And it's just basically a good 15-minute story. I think the first one was like around 10 minutes, and the next one's 15. I haven't gotten into all the voice acting yet. I'm trying to. So your feedback is appreciated. Let's see, what else do I got a music channel, the Elysian Echo. And the Elysian Echo is just basically me doing lyrics with AI, then putting it in a Suno composing. I'm trying to steer with instrumental direction and vocal direction, but Suno is Suno. So, but I've gotten a lot of good songs out of that. So I put AI video to it. So I craft the AI video to each one of the songs, and I posted them. I think some of them are really good hits. Others, I try to put out the ones that really sound good. The one that's coming up after the one prior to the intro and the outro of each of my shows is done by Suno AI and myself, so I hope you enjoy them. With all that said, depending on when you are watching this, have a good day, have a good night, and remember to be safe. Also, let's make ourselves a better version so we can have happy and fulfilled lives. Until next time, this is Pax Dei, The Search for Steel, episode 163. Have a good day. Have a good night.
With every step, a lesson learned. From fire's heat to the fields I've turned. The blade and bow, the forge and flame. I sharpen my skills, I play the game. Each day brings a challenge I must face. I train my hands with careful grace. From alchemy's art to the hunter's way, I'll find the strength to seize the day. I carve my path, I walk the line, in the shadow of the ancient sign. Through trial and toil I'll find my way, learning more with each passing day. The skill of survival, the will to thrive, in a world where the strong survive. I'll face the night, I'll take the chance. I'm ready to fight, to learn to dance. For every strike and every fall, I'm building my strength, I'm standing tall. In the heart of the wild and the calm of the night, I gather my skills, I'm ready to fight. From the herbs I find to the iron I mold, each lesson learned is a story told. The stars above, they guide my hand as I hone my craft. I take my stand in the quiet woods, in the mountains chill. I push myself, I shape my will with each new tool and every lore. I'm stronger now than I was before. I carve my path, I walk the line in the shadow of the ancient sign. Through trial and toil, I'll find my way, learning more with each passing day. The skill of survival, the will to thrive in a world where the strong survive. I'll face the night, I'll take the chance. I'm ready to fight, to learn to dance. For every strike and every fall, I'm building my strength, I'm standing tall. In the heart of the wild and the calm of the night, I gather my skills, I'm ready to fight. The road is long, but I won't turn back. The lessons I learned keep me on track. With each new skill, the stronger I grow. In the face of the storm, I let my courage show. I've tasted defeat, I felt the sting, but I rise again with each new spring. For knowledge is power, and wisdom the key. I'm forging my path, I'm breaking free. The skill of survival, the will to thrive in a world where the strong survive. I'll face the night, I'll take the chance. I'm ready to fight, to learn to dance. For every strike and every fall, I'm building my strength, I'm standing tall. In the heart of the wild and the calm of the night, I gather my skills, I'm ready